On February 5th, the world's best returns to the ring. Three-division champ Claressa Shields battles undefeated #1 ranked Emma Cozy. Plus, Chris Eubank Jr. versus Liam Williams. Saturday, February 5th, streamed live on Fight.tv and PPV.com. Okay, yeah.
Gentlemen from StubHub Center here in Carson, California. A very good evening and welcome to HBO's Boxing After Dark. Proudly presented to you by Tom Loeffler's 360 Promotions and brought to you by Tecate, the official beer of boxing. Also brought to you by MGM Resorts, Cafe Agave, and Spiked Brew. This bout, 10 rounds scheduled for the WBC IBF WBA Middleweight Championship of the World. Your three judges scoring this bout at ringside: Rudy Barragan, Carla Caiz, and Eddie Hernandez. And when the action begins inside the ring, your referee in charge, Hall of Famer in this, his final assignment between the ropes, Dr. Lou Moret. Introducing to you first, fighting out of the blue corner. Wearing blue trunks, she weighed officially 157 pounds. In 10 professional bouts, her record, 9 victories, just 1 defeat, 3 wins coming by way of knockout from Londerzeel, Belgium. She is the reigning WBO Super Middleweight Champion of the World, challenging for the Middleweight World Championship. Here is Femke Hermans. And across the ring, her opponent fighting out of the red corner, wearing gold, trimmed in white, weighed in of knockout. Here's the WBA, IBF, and reigning WBC Middleweight Champion of the World from Flint, Michigan, the undefeated T-Rex, Claressa Shields.
Ladies, I've been your instruction in the dressing room. I expect a good, clean fight. Listen to my command. Return to your corner and await the bell. Good luck to both of you.
A historic night for women's boxing, an historic night for boxing altogether. A feature bout on the final telecast of HBO Boxing After Dark. Claressa Shields, Femke Hermans, the unified women's middleweight title on the line. Round 1, this one's scheduled for 10 2-minute rounds. Hermans, the super middleweight champion, holds the title at 168, coming down to 160 to challenge Shields. So really, on paper, one of the best fights that could be made in and around this weight neighborhood. Shields, of course, the 2-time Olympic gold medalist, has been piling up the hardware already in her pro career. Enters this fight 7-0. Already the ruler of the middleweight division, and of course we all know the showdown that she's looking forward to potentially down the line. Potential bout against Christina Hammer. And you see Christina Hammer sitting in the front row, staring ominously. But Hermans, no pushover for Shields. Right hand grazes off the shoulder of Hermans, who's been switching stances, a little bit of nervous energy perhaps here in the early going. And Shields starting to open up with Hermans trapped in the corner.
All right, stop. But 10 seconds, ladies, 10 seconds.
Final 10 seconds of the opening round. A good start for the unified champion, Claressa Shields.
Good round. That's it. She don't want to come in. She don't want to come in at all. So we really work behind that jab and get inside. And keep going to the body like you're doing. Whatever combination you finish, roll that head for me. You're just trying to count him back. All right? She don't want to fight. Step to your right and cut the ring off for me. All right? Step to the right and cut the ring off.
Eerst te zijn doen. Gewoon iets ik probeert. Wat je wil moet doen, dat is snel op de been. Als je gaat. Dat is niks, geprobeerd. Ja? We hebben nog tijd, er zijn er nog 9. Oké? Niet afjagen, er zijn er nog 9.
Not this in.
Round 2 underway for our feature contest here from the StubHub Center in Carson, California. Claressa Shields and Femke Hermans, the unified women's middleweight title on the line. Hermans still an active world champion at 168. And there's some continuity here because Hermans actually won her title with a victory over Nikki Adler, who Shields has also faced. It was Adler who Shields stopped to win her very first world title in her 4th professional contest. And this really is a more natural weight for Shields, who, of course, throughout her amateur career fought in this area at middleweight. Of course, the amateur weight classes are a couple pounds higher or lower. But 160, a very natural range for Shields, who started her career at 168 with wins over Franchon Cruz and, of course, Adler. Good shot to the body there from Hermans. Hermans a very tricky operator. Lots of different looks, lots of different angles. I've seen her switching stances repeatedly here in the early going.
Stop.
Lou Moret officiating his final contest here tonight. Picking a very momentous occasion to call it a career. 10 seconds remaining. Shields connects on a right hand over the top. Sneaks a good body shot in there right before the bell.
Time!
Zeg, we hebben nog tijd. Lieten ze nu de derde ronde op de grond, of de achtste, dat blijft zelfs. Die rechtse hoek van u, die is verschrikkelijk. Probeer die een keer uit. Je wacht af.
Yeah, where you want to go? Get inside with that jab. Start that jab, try to go to the body for me. Yeah, right there. Try to go to the body a little bit more for me, all right?
Let's go, man.
It's round 3 underway. Claressa Shields with a good start here. Taking on Femke Hermans, defending all 3 of her middleweight titles. She holds the IBF, the WBA, and the WBC title. The one title outstanding is held by Christina Hammer, which of course is the fight that frankly, Shields has been calling for since the beginning of her pro career. If Shields could have fought Christina Hammer in her first pro contest, I'm sure she would have. And in fact, there were rumors and discussions of that. And really, it is remarkable what Shields has been able to accomplish in her career to this point. A good shot there from Shields, and you see the frown on the face of Hermans. She definitely felt that one. Shot to the body from Shields, climbs the ladder with a left hook. And the intensity now starting to pick up in terms of the work rate of the champion. You look back at the beginning of the career of Claressa Shields and just how even her first pro win has aged. In her first pro fight, she defeated Franchon Cruz, who now has become a mainstay in some of the higher weight classes. Cruz really is one of the best fighters in women's boxing as well, and Shields showing exactly why. She is in all likelihood the very best. A left hook rattles Femke Hermans, who is now on the run with 10 seconds left in the round.
For the bell. Let her go, let her go.
A dominant start for T-Rex.
Yeah, but keep going there. No, don't stop. That's good work.
We'll take a look at some of the action from the previous round. There's one of those good body shots from Shields, and then immediately comes right up top with a left hook. Just a picturesque combination. As round 4 begins, as we're seeing, there aren't too many advantages that Hermans has, if any, over Shields, but the fact that she is coming down from 168, it does have natural size, a bigger frame, perhaps helping her in terms of standing up to these shots from Shields, because Shields has been landing flush, particularly in that third round. Shot connects again to the body from Shields, and that was what John David Jackson was calling for in the corner. And when you have a shifty fighter like Hermans is, the cliche is that is the strategy. They can move their head, they can move around, but the body is still a big target. And Shields has done some good work downstairs. Hermans looks for a left hand there. Sweeping left hand, falls a little bit short, but Shields, again, just touching her to the body. Good sneaky work here in this round from Shields, who is consistently making Hermans miss and making her pay with solid body shots just like that one.
Can you help her out for me? Good work, good work, good work. Beautiful round. Oh, come on now, you know that hurt. Keep doing that for me. She don't want to fight you. She don't want to fight you. She's just trying to survive, man. That's all she's trying to do. So keep doing what you're doing. Keep working behind that jab and going to the body. When you get close, try to break her ribs for me, okay? Every time you go to the body, try to come back with hook to the head.
Okay. One of you have to do it.
Oh.
He's going to do a medical timeout.
Okay.
Do it fast. Just put it
Okay.
in there.
All right.
You need to go in
Look up one second.
right one.
Okay. It's over here?
Ready to put it in?
Yeah, put it in.
Yeah, can I?
Right here. Right under it.
Under the shield, right?
Time in.
Round five, round five.
It's round 5 underway. A little bit of an extended break there with a wardrobe malfunction in the corner of Claressa Shields. We're back to action. Shields starting it off with a couple quick, hard jabs. Big right hand over the top connects from Shields. Another one right on the bridge of the chin, and every time Hermans turns southpaw, it seems that Shields is immediately making her pay with the right hand. It's almost like it's setting off a trigger to let the right hand go. We'll see if she can let it go again. Hermans may be familiar to the American audience, as a couple of years ago she took on Alicia Napoleon Espinoza at the Barclays Center. That was back in March of 2018. That was on the undercard of Deontay Wilder, Luis Ortiz. Good counter left hook there, connects from Claressa Shields. It's been mainly one-way traffic, but you do have to hand it to Hermans, who is doing a little bit of moving here, but for the most part has been willing to stand in front of Claressa Shields, has been willing to exchange. And although she's starting to mark up a little bit, has been able to weather those shots. See how long she wants to stick with this strategy. Another good body shot from Shields. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 right hands to the body from Shields, who just continues to take the target that is being given to her and is piling up the points. And one of the stars of combat sports in general, Chris Cyborg, seated next to Halle Berry here ringside. The stars definitely in attendance to watch, as we said, a historic night in boxing, a historic night in women's boxing.
6.
Shields and Hermans for the unified middleweight title, and so far you couldn't ask for a better start if you're a supporter of Claressa Shields, who has been cruising through 5 rounds. Round 6 underway. 10 2-minute rounds, the championship distance for women's boxing. So far, the strategy for Hermans has been to try and disrupt the rhythm of Claressa Shields and kind of jump in with some ambush flurries and hopefully get the best of them. The problem is that she hasn't been winning these exchanges, and in particular, as Hermans has jumped in and has been a little bit out of sorts, putting her punches together, she's been getting countered like that. A pair of left hooks before Hermans could even get off, and there's a right hand that connects on the exit. Shields throwing with a little extra mustard here in this round. Big overhand right connects from Claressa Shields, who now digs to the body on the inside.
10 seconds.
Final 10 seconds, and we are getting to the point where Hermans is going to need something significant, a couple of shots score right before the bell. She's going to need a confidence boost, some sort of momentum boost to turn this thing around.
It's my first time ever doing this. How you feel? Listen, keep doing what you're doing. Keep working that jab, but don't rush the jab. Take your time.
So I'm waiting on it.
The body was great. What you waiting on?
Yeah. I feel like I'm waiting on it.
Yeah. Listen, you know what you do? Third round, you got.
We'll take a look at some of the action here. There's the counterpunching of Claressa Shields. A couple of left hooks in the middle of that sequence, one on the inside that comes around with another left hook. Showing a lot of versatility in terms of her offense is Shields. Enters round 7. A little more bounce to her step. And Shields told John David Jackson in the corner, I feel like I'm waiting on her. And you know, we talked about that in the previous round. That Shields has been so expertly countering Hermans really throughout this fight. Is it necessary for Shields really to change her approach? I don't know that it is. You know that Shields wants to make a statement. You know that she would love to score a knockout here. And what is a historic night in Los Angeles. Good counter left hook. That one lands flush from Shields. And it really speaks to the brilliance of Shields and her career to this point. The fact that she's in a fight like this against a current world champion from a heavier weight class who's coming down to meet her here in a unified world title fight. And it's almost like this is a foregone conclusion. She's already talking about bigger fights. She wants to face Christina Hammer, who of course is in attendance. You can see her in the shot right here. She wants Cecilia Brækhus, who holds titles at 147 and has long been regarded as one of the leaders in women's boxing. She wants to meet her at 154. To be dominating Hermans and already thinking ahead is really just extraordinary.
Good round. I got you, Mark. One round. Hey. Round 8 coming up. How you feel? Getting close. All your points are to connect. If you're a little bit closer, take your time. Don't rush your shot. Try to break the bump. You break the jaw. You break the roof. Take your time to plant those shots for you.
Look up just 1 second.
You got bigger fish to fry. Fuck you. Take your time and do what you got to do. Go to the body and go to the head point. All right? You want to rinse? You good. No shot. All right. Keep doing your thing, all right? Cut that ring off.
Round 8. 8.
Round 8 begins. 3 to go here in this feature contest. From Los Angeles, California, Claressa Shields, the unified middleweight champion, taking on Femke Hermans, the super middleweight title holder, coming down to 160 to challenge certainly the biggest star in women's boxing today. And already many regard her, and there is a lot of evidence to back it up, to be the greatest women's fighter of all time. In order to cement that, There are goals that Shields wants to achieve, but the pair of Olympic gold medals, the speed with which Shields has cleaned out 168, and now working on 160. You really have to remind yourself that we're watching something special in T-Rex Claressa Shields. Now starting to showboat a little bit, the hands to the side. Oh, big counter right hand. Just walked Hermans right into that shot.
Better go.
And going back to some of the instruction that John David Jackson gave Shields back in the 6th round, Shields had mentioned she felt she was waiting on Hermans. That is not the case here in this round. It is Shields who is pursuing Hermans around the ring. Boy, some terrific work in that final 30-second sequence for Shields. And the corner of Hermans just trying to heat her up, trying to wake her up. Hermans has just 2 rounds left, just 4 minutes left to pull what would be truly an extraordinary upset in terms of the betting odds. And again, we go back to how special it is, what we're seeing from Shields at this point in her career. Shields, an overwhelming betting favorite in this fight. And again, this is a world champion that she's facing. A world champion from a heavier weight division who's coming down to meet her. These aren't scenarios that are particularly common. They do happen. They do happen in men's boxing, but not often. And when they do, they're typically super fights. When Claressa Shields is doing it, it's just another day at the office. You know, you think about a scenario like Andre Ward facing Chad Dawson, who came down to face him. It's not an exact comparison, but it's those types of fights that Claressa Shields is having time and time again, and she is dominating them from bell to bell. So far in her career, Shields has not just been a step in front of the pack, she has almost been on a different lap. Couple right hand score from Shields. There's a good sneaky left hand from Hermans. Now is on the front foot a little more, and be knowing that just with those minutes ticking away, it's time to start taking some chances. But those are dangerous risks.
10 seconds.
Against Shields. The final seconds tick away in the 9th round. One more right hand for good measure from Shields, and another one that might have been just, well, right at the bell, according to Lou Moret.
Last round. Last round. What you want to do is your round. Just be careful. Just be safe. All right? Be careful.
Last round, touch ground.
If you want that knockout, then you stay close, go to the body, come back. Whatever you fire back with a hook. Just get a chin way up in the air, all right?
Combination.
Combinations, finish with a hook. Finish with a hook for me. Last round. Whatever you see, what you do.
Tenth and final round of this unified middleweight world title fight. Claressa Shields has been dominant from rounds 1 through 9 over Femke Hermans, the super middleweight champion, coming down to take a shot at the biggest name in women's boxing today, Claressa Shields. And it's Shields who wants to take a shot at a knockout. You heard the corner work from John David Jackson, very measured. Said, listen, you do have to be careful. It's the final round. The only shot Hermans has is to go for a knockout here. But if you want to knock out yourself, you have to try to get close and counter with shots up top just like that one. Shields takes a shot from Hermans there, but comes back behind her jab. Shields was very respectful towards Hermans in the build-up to this fight. Called this a great moment for women's boxing for these two champions to meet. And even though it hasn't been the performance that Hermans wanted, you certainly have to hand it to her for taking a risk like this and for standing up to some of the shots that she's taken in this fight. And now doing a little bit of good work along the ropes.
There we go. Box.
Shields showing off some of her defensive work. In the final seconds of this fight. Oh, and they exchange a massive left hook that Hermans is rattled by, but the clock will come to her aid. And we close a chapter in boxing history. A women's world title fight on the final HBO After Dark telecast. What a way to wrap things up, and what a performance once again from Claressa Shields. And we'll look back at some of that work. Here's the shot that landed with seconds left to go in this fight. I do not know how Hermans remained on her feet. Look at that again. You know, with 20 more seconds, Shields might have been able to finish that fight, but you see the expression from Femke Hermans. She just ran into a truly special fighter in Claressa Shields, who entered this fight at 7-0 and in all likelihood is going to leave 8-0 and with her world titles still intact.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, after 10 rounds of boxing, we go to the judges' scorecards. All three have it 100-90. Your winner by unanimous decision. She is still undefeated and still WBA, IBF, WBC middleweight champion of the world, T-Rex, Claressa Shields.
Another dominant performance from Claressa Shields, who continues to make a case for being the greatest women's fighter who has ever lived. The accomplishments just continue to pile up. A special moment for Shields and her promoter, Dimitri Salita. You see Mark Taffet there, who was one of the men at the helm of HBO Boxing for over 25 years on the final night for his charge.
On February 5th, the world's best returns to the ring. Three-division champ Claressa Shields battles undefeated #1 ranked Emma Cozy. Plus, Chris Eubank Jr. versus Liam Williams. Saturday, February 5th, streamed live on Fight.tv and PPV.com.